What's up, folks? It's Dr. Remy LeBeau, and I'm coming at you once again from the X-Lair to provide you a brief reaction to the trailer for the new Marvel's Inhumans television show. So for those of you that don't know anything about this, the Inhumans are classic characters in the Marvel Universe, and they've always kind of had their own sort of pocket in the universe. They are basically the result of alien and human DNA tampering, and they have like different sort of hierarchical power structures. That's ultimately what their story is about. Like, they have like rulers, and they have people that want the power, and they have people within that ruling family that like want to take the power. And that's always kind of what the Inhumans have been. And they live on the moon, and they have like a fortress on the moon, and they've always kind of had that pocket. Well, as you may or may not know, there's like a rights issue with the X-Men. In the late 90s, Marvel, that was not owned by Disney then, almost went bankrupt. So they started selling out the rights to their characters beyond the printed medium. So Fox bought the X-Men, Sony bought Spider-Man, distribution for the Hulk, I think, was bought by Universal, maybe even Namor the Submariner. Anyway, flash forward, Marvel Universe gets introduced. Woo, everybody loves it. Disney buys Marvel. Disney has Marvel. Disney is trying to make as many of their characters popular as possible. They don't have the X-Men. They do have the Inhumans. So they're like, let's make the Inhumans the new X-Men, and we'll make the X-Men, we'll just sweep them under the rug and like maybe even undermine like what Fox can do with the characters. A lot of crap been going on with that. I don't want to get too far into it, but in the comics, they've really been pushing Inhumans and kind of been shitting on the X-Men, my favorite characters, and it's been a problem for me and many comic fans. And anyway, in the process of them developing the Marvel Universe, they announced a Marvel's Inhumans movie, right? That was going to be like one of the next films that they were going to release after, I think, Infinity War or something. Now, recently, there's been some behavior on the part of Marvel that implies that they have maybe reconciled with Fox a bit, and maybe they're willing to work with them, because now we're seeing television shows for the X-Men. We saw Legion, we see The Gifted coming up soon, and it appears that they have backed off of like their sort of push of the Inhumans, because what we're seeing on television now, I'm pretty sure was intended to be on the big screen. And that is why the first 2 episodes are being aired, not just on television, but 2 weeks prior to them being aired on television, they're going to be in IMAX theaters. Because again, I believe that like there's been a lot of pre-production work, storyboarding, kind of production design of the world of the Inhumans, that they're like, well, let's not throw this away, let's use this, because, you know, like, we can still use it on television, but we're not going to include it in the cinematic universe, which I'm glad about, really, because like the Inhumans just aren't the X-Men, and they never will be, and that's that. And anyway, so now here we are. This is the trailer for Marvel's Inhumans. The Inhumans themselves are very interesting. They have the concept of Inhumans have been introduced in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which has been hit and miss, and definitely the Inhuman stuff has been kind of in the middle for me. It hasn't been that exciting. It's been all right, but still, it does feel like X-Men light. Apparently, this show is not connected to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which means that it's not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. supposedly is, but it's only acknowledged on the television front, not in the movies. It's all very complicated. Let's just leave it there. Anyway, so now I'm going to watch this trailer, now that you know as much as I know about it, and let's see what happens. Let's see if there's been some rumors about it not being the best quality, but it's Marvel, it's Disney. If they're going to release something in IMAX, it's going to be impressive. I have high hopes for it. So I want it to succeed. I just don't want Inhumans to succeed in the place of the X-Men. I don't want that. Anyway, let's go. All right.
Sooner or later, the humans are going to find us up here. You should have known this day was coming.
All right. Medusa's the head. She's got this
Are we supposed to follow our king?
crazy living red
Remain
hair.
as silent as he is.
Black Bolt is the king. He can't speak. If he does,
We
he
need to go to
destroys.
Earth now. We've been hiding here too long. Let's go to our rightful home. If we were on Earth, we would have a glorious planet to live on, thrive on.
You're talking about betraying your brother. You're talking about treason.
You're blind to his intentions. Right or wrong, he's dangerous.
What I'm talking about is freedom. Freedom for all Inhumans. Are you going to use your voice to kill your only brother? Stop it!
Whoa. Whoa. There's this giant dog. I forget his name. He teleports.
We will not let anyone or anything stop us. We will create our destiny. Nothing can keep us from being free.
Dude, Medusa the queen has living red hair, and we did not see that. We did not see that. I mean, it looks alright. It looks cool. Like, the dog looks like a dog. He's supposed to be kind of bigger. I don't know. Just looking a little bit more exotic. The look of the show is not that interesting. Like, the production design is not that interesting, which I understand because, you know, it's going to be on television. They have to conserve because it's going to be 10 episodes, I think. The first 2 will air in IMAX, then they'll air on television, then there'll be like 8 more. So it's got to have a TV budget, right? And as you see with a lot of these superhero shows, like, their budgets aren't that great. Even with this DC, the DC stuff on the CW, the quality of the special effects is poor. And it actually was all right in the beginning for the Flash, but it seems to have dwindled. And I'm going to assume it has something to do with the television, with the movies, because the quality was so good that people were like, well, why do we need a movie? And so maybe they brought the quality down so that people were like, okay, well, we need a movie so we get better quality effects. The effects aren't going to be that great, obviously. The characters don't really feel like the Inhumans to me. Black Bolt, the leader, he just looks like a guy. Like, Black Bolt is not just a guy. He's got like a regal quality, and he's got a really cool costume, and he's really intimidating. This guy didn't give me that. Medusa is probably the most interesting of the Inhumans. She's got this huge red hair that's like alive, and she controls, and it like moves. I didn't see any of that, and that should have been like centerpiece to, you know, the iconography of the Inhumans. It always has been. It always will be. As far as like the characters go in the comics, I don't know. I'm not that excited about it. I don't see it going very far, but maybe it will. I don't know. I guess it depends on whether or not the IMAX screening is something that people are interested in. But as of right now, it doesn't look that great to me, and it's a bit disappointing. But also not, because to be honest, like, if this doesn't work out, I think maybe it'll further solidify Marvel's belief in the actual X-Men proper, and that would behoove me and a lot of people that have been very upset over the last few years with them trying to make the Inhumans the X-Men. The Inhumans are not the X-Men. There's a run, I forgot who wrote it, but there's like a 12-issue Inhuman story. It's drawn by Jay Lee, who's like this really great artist. I forget who wrote it. Anyway, that's a great sort of arc of the Inhumans that you might want to check out if you haven't ever read anything pertaining to these characters. That's considered to be like the best run of the characters. For me, they were actually introduced around the time that I started reading comics, in X Factor, being drawn by Will Sportasio, which is a really great artist as well. Anyway, this is a time period in which Cable as a baby was which you're going to meet if you haven't yet in the Deadpool sequel. He was infected with the techno-organic virus by Apocalypse, which means that like his body was being turned into into basically a robotic form, ultimately metal and wires. And to stop this from happening, he had to be taken into the future. And so all that happened kind of on the moon, and I believe the Inhumans were involved, and that's where I was introduced to them, but they really haven't been important since then, and they shouldn't be that important, to be honest, at any point, because they aren't anything. There's enough important characters in the Marvel Universe that this does not need to be a thing. But maybe the show will make them a thing. Maybe the show will be good. But I kind of said that about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the beginning, and now I'm just kind of like, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though I've been watching it. The last season was better than the last few, but and because of the Ghost Rider thing, because really, if you just had Ghost Rider on his own, it would have been enough, probably. Anyway, the Marvel stuff on ABC hasn't been that great, and so I don't have high hopes for this, but I'll watch it, because why the fuck not? Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Thanks for checking out my content. If you haven't already done so, you can subscribe down here. Just click that button. Keep up with some of the stuff I'm producing. And as always, I'd like to remind you, if you haven't already, put an X in that box because ain't nobody checking me. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.